Okay, so are you ready to dive into one of those movies that just begs to be analyzed?
hmm
Adam Sandler's Jack and Jill.
Oh, yeah.
This one, you said this one, and so I know you're curious about it.
Yep.
And honestly, who isn't?
Yeah.
It's a fascinating train wreck.
It is.
Sandler has given us gems like Happy Gilmore,
Yeah.
but then there's this.
Yeah.
What went wrong?
It's so fascinating to me how Jack and Jill just seems to deliberately defy all the rules of good comedy.
Yeah.
I mean, Sandler usually nails a certain type of humor,
Yeah.
but here it's like he's almost intentionally going for the cringe factor.
Right. The premise itself is already pushing it.
Yes.
Jack, a successful ad executive, dreading his twin sister Jill's Thanksgiving visit.
Uh-huh.
But the twist, they're both played by Adam Sandler.
Yes.
You'd think double the Sandler would equal double the laughs, but
And that's where it gets interesting.
yeah,
The entire film hinges on this dual performance,
right.
which, to be honest, isn't very funny.
No.
It's like the concept itself is the joke,
Yeah.
and the execution just doesn't land.
It's more like double the awkwardness.
Yeah.
And then you throw Al Pacino into the mix playing himself,
Yes.
who becomes obsessed with Jill.
Oh, my God.
Al Pacino chasing after Adam Sandler in a wig. It's surreal.
It's like watching two completely different comedic universes collide.
Yeah.
You have Sandler's brand of over-the-top, almost childish humor,
Mhm.
clashing with Pacino, who's known for his intense dramatic roles.
Yeah.
The result is this bizarre, almost meta-comedy that's hard to define.
It's like they're speaking different comedic languages.
Totally.
And then, of course, there's the infamous Dunkin' Donuts tie-in.
Yes.
The whole plot revolves around Jack trying to get Pacino to star in a commercial for them.
The product placement is so blatant, it's almost comical in itself.
I mean,
It's like they wrote the script around a Dunkin' Donuts ad campaign,
Right.
and it makes you wonder, did audiences even notice?
Yeah.
Did it work?
I mean, the film made money, so maybe it did.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, the humor itself is questionable at best. It relies heavily on slapstick and exaggerated characters,
Uh-huh.
but it all feels so forced.
It lacks that certain charm that makes slapstick work.
Yeah.
Think about classic slapstick like Charlie Chaplin or Buster Keaton.
Right.
The humor comes from the timing, the physicality, the unexpected.
Yeah.
Jack and Jill just throws gags at the wall and hopes something sticks.
And the portrayal of Jill, it's just a collection of stereotypes.
Yeah.
Loud, obnoxious, completely lacking in self-awareness.
Uh-huh.
It's not even funny bad. It's just uncomfortable to watch.
It's almost like they took every negative stereotype about women and amplified it to the extreme.
Right.
And it's strange because Sandler's earlier films often featured strong, relatable female characters.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Wedding Singer comes to mind.
I know.
It's a shame to see such a regression here.
I wonder if the problem is that the film tries to have it both ways.
Yeah.
Be a goofy comedy and have a heartwarming message about family.
Okay.
But the emotional beats just feel hollow because the characters are so underdeveloped.
Especially Jack's wife.
Oh, yeah.
She's played Mercedes Holmes, but she's basically wallpaper.
Yeah.
She has no agency, no personality.
Right.
It's like they just needed a female presence and didn't bother to flesh out the character.
And it's not just the main characters. The supporting cast is equally forgettable.
Yes, totally.
It's like everyone's operating on a single dimension,
Uh-huh.
except for Pacino. He's the only one who seems to be having any fun.
Pacino's performance is so bizarrely captivating.
Isn't it?
He's clearly in on the joke, playing this over-the-top version of himself.
Right.
It's almost like he's challenging the audience to keep up with him.
Yeah.
And that, in a way, is kind of brilliant.
Yeah.
It elevates the entire film to a level of surrealism that's almost impossible to ignore.
You almost wonder if he's sending a message.
Yeah.
Like, this is what happens when you let me loose in a comedy.
Totally.
And it makes you want to go back and watch his serious roles, just to see if you can spot a glimmer of that mischievous energy.
There's definitely a layer of irony there.
Yeah.
Pacino, one of the greatest actors of our time, fully embracing this ridiculousness.
I know.
It makes you question everything you thought you knew about him.
Okay, but what about the pacing?
Yeah.
Even though it's relatively short,
Mhm.
it feels like it drags on forever.
The problem is the lack of variation.
Uh-huh.
It's just one gag after another.
Yeah.
With very little plot development or character interaction,
Right.
it becomes repetitive and predictable very quickly.
It's like they took a sketch comedy skit and stretched it into a feature-length film.
Yes, exactly.
And speaking of skits, that Dunkin' Donuts commercial with Pacino rapping.
Say hello to my chocolate blend.
Oh.
It's so incredibly bad that it becomes strangely hypnotic.
Oh my God.
You can't look away, even though you know you should.
It's like a car crash in slow motion.
Yes.
And it makes you wonder, is it possible to enjoy this movie, ironically?
Right.
Is there a level on which it's so bad it's good?
That's a question we'll have to explore further. Because there's definitely something fascinating about our attraction to bad movies.
Yeah.
It's like we can't help but rubberneck at a train wreck.
All right, so we've established that Jack and Jill is a mess.
Yes.
But is it a fascinating mess?
Oh, definitely.
Is there something more to unpack here than just bad jokes and cringeworthy moments?
Absolutely, because even in its failures, it reveals a lot about the state of comedy, the power of star persona, and the psychology of audience enjoyment.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Let's dive deeper into the Al Pacino factor, the product placement phenomena, and the enduring appeal of so bad it's good movies. We'll be right back after a quick break.
Sounds good.
Okay, so we're back, and we're neck deep in the bizarre world of Jack and Jill. Before the break, we were talking about Al Pacino and his almost meta performance.
Yes.
It's almost like he transcends the badness of the film.
Exactly. Pacino's presence raises an interesting question about highbrow and lowbrow humor.
Yeah.
You have this incredibly respected actor known for his gravitas and dramatic intensity, willingly participating in something that's so obviously silly and over the top.
It's like he's challenging our preconceived notions of what constitutes good acting.
Right.
I mean, he's fully committing to the role, delivering every line with absolute sincerity.
Yes.
Even when the material itself is absurd.
It's almost like he's winking at the audience saying, I know this is ridiculous, but let's have some fun with it.
Right.
And that self-awareness, that willingness to poke fun at his own image, actually makes it work.
It adds a layer of complexity to the film that wouldn't be there otherwise.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, did he genuinely enjoy making this movie?
Right.
Or was it purely a strategic career move?
Perhaps it's a bit of both. Maybe he saw it as an opportunity to break free from his typecasting, to show his versatility as an actor, or maybe he just wanted to try something completely different to challenge himself.
It's definitely a departure from his usual roles.
Yeah.
And speaking of departures, let's talk about the product placement.
Yeah.
I mean, Dunkin' Donuts is practically a supporting character in this film.
It goes beyond simple product placement. It's almost like the film is one giant commercial for Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
And it raises some interesting ethical questions about the commercialization of art.
Right. Where do we draw the line between entertainment and advertising?
Right.
At what point does it become too much?
Yeah.
I mean, we all know product placement exists, but Jack and Jill takes it to a whole new level.
It's almost like a parody of itself. It's so blatant, so in your face.
It is.
That it becomes a commentary on consumer culture and our obsession with brands.
Yeah.
It's like they're saying, look how ridiculous this is. We're shoving this product down your throat and you're still watching.
And the crazy thing is, it's actually kind of clever because by acknowledging the absurdity of it all, they disarm the audience.
Yeah.
It's like, we know this is cheesy, but we're all in on the joke.
It's a risky strategy, but it seems to have worked.
Yeah.
The film was a box office success despite its critical panning.
Right.
And maybe that says something about our tolerance for bad movies. Or at least movies that are so bad they're good.
It's that whole train wreck phenomenon, right?
Yes.
We can't help but look, even though we know it's going to be bad.
And there's a certain pleasure in that shared experience.
Right.
It's like, can you believe how bad this is? I can't believe it either.
Yeah.
It becomes a bonding experience, a way to connect with others over shared amusement and disbelief.
So maybe Jack and Jill isn't a complete failure after all.
Right.
Maybe it's achieved a different kind of success.
Perhaps it's a reminder that not all movies need to be masterpieces.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's okay to just have fun with something, even if that fun comes from pointing out its flaws.
Right. It's like those midnight movie screenings where everyone's shouting at the screen and throwing popcorn.
Exactly.
It's not about the quality of the film. It's about the shared experience of watching something truly outrageous.
Exactly. And Jack and Jill definitely fits that bill.
Oh, yeah.
It's the kind of movie that demands to be watched with friends.
Wow.
With plenty of commentary and heckling along the way.
So are you saying there's actually value in watching bad movies?
Uh-huh.
That we can learn something from them?
Absolutely. Bad movies can teach us just as much about filmmaking as good movies, if not more.
Okay.
They show us what not to do, what cliches to avoid, what pitfalls to watch out for.
It's like studying a crime scene.
Yes.
You're looking for clues, for patterns, for anything that can help you understand how it all went wrong.
And sometimes in the process, you discover unexpected gems.
Right?
Moments of unintentional brilliance, or even just sheer entertainment. value
Yeah.
that you wouldn't find in a more polished, conventional film.
I'm starting to see Jack and Jill in a whole new light now.
Yeah.
It's like a case study in how not to make a comedy.
Right.
But at the same time, it's strangely fascinating.
And it's a reminder that even the most talented filmmakers can stumble.
Right.
It happens to the best of us, but
Yeah.
the important thing is to learn from those mistakes,
Yeah.
to grow as artists, and to hopefully create something better next time.
All right. So we've talked about the Al Pacino factor, the product placement, and the so bad it's good phenomenon.
Uh-huh.
But we haven't really touched on the core concept of the film.
Okay.
A man forced to deal with his annoying twin sister.
And that's where the film's biggest missed opportunity lies.
Yeah.
The premise itself has potential for genuine humor and heartfelt moments,
Right.
but the execution falls flat because the characters are so one-dimensional.
Jill is just a caricature, and Jack is equally bland.
Yes.
We never really understand their relationship, their history, or why they are the way they are.
Exactly. There's no emotional depth, no sense of connection.
Yeah.
And without that foundation, any attempt at sentimentality feels forced and unearned.
It's like they were so focused on the gags that they forgot to build a story around them.
Right.
And that's ultimately why Jack and Jill fails as a comedy.
Yeah.
It lacks heart.
It's all surface, no substance.
Yeah.
And that's a shame because with a little more care and attention to character development, this could have been a much more enjoyable film.
I'm wondering, though, if the film's shortcomings are partly due to the limitations of the genre itself.
Okay.
I mean, is it even possible to make a truly insightful and heartwarming comedy about a man and his annoying twin sister?
That's a great question, and it leads us to a broader discussion about the challenges of blending comedy with more serious themes.
Okay, I'm interested to hear your thoughts on that because I think Jack and Jill raises some important questions about the nature of comedy and its ability to tackle complex issues without sacrificing humor.
Right. Can a film be both funny and meaningful?
Yeah.
Can it make us laugh and think at the same time?
Those are definitely questions worth pondering, and I think Jack and Jill, despite its flaws, provides a valuable case study for exploring those themes. But before we get too deep into that philosophical rabbit hole, let's take a step back and consider the film's legacy.
Okay, good point. Because even though Jack and Jill is critically panned,
Yeah.
it's still left a mark on popular culture.
Right. It's like a cultural touchstone for all the wrong reasons.
Yes.
People still talk about it. They still make memes about it. And it even swept the Razzies,
Wow.
winning awards in every single category.
Which is quite a feat, even for a bad movie.
I know
It's
that.
almost like achieving a perverse kind of perfection.
So what does that say about our fascination with bad movies?
Right.
Why do we keep coming back to them, even when we know they're going to be terrible?
That's a question we'll explore in our final segment because the appeal of so bad it's good movies goes beyond simple amusement.
Yeah.
There's a deeper psychological phenomenon at play, a kind of collective catharsis that we derive from watching something truly outrageous and unconventional.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Let's delve into that rabbit hole after the break. We'll be right back with our final thoughts on Jack and Jill and the enduring appeal of bad movies. Don't go anywhere.
Sounds good.
Okay, we're back for our final thoughts on Jack and Jill and that whole so bad it's good thing we were talking about.
You know, I think there are a few things at play there.
Okay.
First, there's the element of surprise. Bad movies often just completely defy our expectations in ways that good movies just can't.
Yeah.
They break all the rules, they kind of turn things upside down.
Right.
And they often throw in these random, absurd things that just catch us off guard.
It's like a different part of our brain is engaged.
Exactly.
The part that loves the unexpected.
Yeah.
No, the part that loves nonsense.
Yes, exactly. And that can be really liberating.
Yeah.
It's a break from the formula, the predictable,
Right.
safe.
Right.
It lets us laugh at how ridiculous it all is, embrace the chaos.
And there's also a feeling of rebellion in it too, right?
Absolutely.
It's like we're pushing back against the critics,
Yeah.
The people who tell us what's good and bad.
Right.
And we're saying, hey, I think this is funny. And that's all that matters.
It's like we get to decide what we like.
Yes, exactly.
We don't need someone to tell us.
And it's social too.
Oh, yeah.
Like when you watch a bad movie with your friends, it becomes a shared experience.
Yeah.
You can riff on the movie, make fun of it, revel in its awfulness together.
It's like a big group roast.
I love it.
And it's cathartic.
Okay.
It helps you release tension and stress.
Right.
It's a way to connect with people over shared amusement and disbelief.
So bad movies are actually good for us?
I think they are.
Interesting.
They give us a break from the ordinary, a chance to laugh at ourselves and the world around us.
Yeah.
They remind us it's okay to not take things so seriously, to find joy in the unexpected, and to just accept that life is kind of absurd.
Maybe that's the big takeaway from Jack and Jill.
Right.
Despite the bad reviews and everything, it's entertained people, got people talking, and left a mark on pop culture.
It's a reminder that even movies that everyone hates can have value, that even failures can be successful, and that sometimes the best thing to do is just laugh at the absurdity of it all.
Well, that about wraps up our deep dive into Jack and Jill.
It's been quite a journey.
We talked about its problems, the weird stuff, and even the things that might be good about it.
It's been interesting.
We talked about its legacy, its impact, and why people are drawn to bad movies.
We covered a lot of ground.
We'd love to hear your thoughts on Jack and Jill and what you think about So Bad It's Good Movies.
Let us know.
Head to our website, leave a comment, send us an email.
Yeah.
We love hearing from you. Okay, so get this. All right. We're going deep diving today into Jack and Jill, of all things.
Jack and Jill.
But not just for like the, the laughs or the groans, and like however you feel about that one.
Sure.
We're going way past just like the Adam Sandler movie thing.
Right.
Okay. This is going to be
layering it up.
Yeah, layering it up.
Yeah.
There's this article, 5 Curiosities about Jack and Jill.
Okay.
And oh my gosh, some of this stuff. You won't believe it.
So this movie, it's fascinating, right? Because it kind of goes beyond, just being a bad movie.
Yeah.
It's almost like a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah.
Because of how badly it was received.
Quickly, yeah.
By critics, yeah.
Like, yeah.
It was just panned.
Yeah, you're talking about the Razzies.
Oh, the Razzies.
Yeah, it won all of them.
It won all of them.
It was nominated for 10 and won 10.
Yeah.
That's got to be some kind of record.
It is, yeah. Jack and Jill is the only movie to win every single category at the Razzies.
Wow.
Which really makes you wonder, what were the critics seeing?
Right.
That maybe, the average moviegoer missed? Or vice versa. Like, sometimes there's this big disconnect between the critics and then what audiences actually enjoy.
Yeah, like maybe there's a certain kind of humor that that some people just love and critics just aren't into.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone has different tastes, right?
Right.
But speaking of taste.
Oh, yeah.
Al Pacino.
We
got to talk about Al Pacino being in this movie.
Right. I mean, it's not every day that you see an Oscar winner like Al Pacino in a movie like Jack and Jill.
Like what?
It would be like seeing, I don't know, Meryl Streep in some goofy, superhero movie. Like, what do you think draws these serious actors to projects like this?
I don't know. Maybe they just want to try something different.
Yeah.
Like, totally different.
Yeah.
Shake things up a bit.
Yeah.
Maybe Pacino, saw something in that script that we all missed.
Maybe. Yeah.
But I think it's safe to say it was a
little jarring.
A little jarring to see him in that.
Yeah. Speaking of jarring, how about that $80 million budget?
Oh my gosh, I know, right?
For a movie that, visually speaking,
yeah,
doesn't look that expensive.
I know. Where did all that money go?
Right.
Was it all just Pacino and Sandler's salaries?
Partially, yeah. Big stars command big paychecks.
Yeah.
But a good chunk of that budget probably went to product placement.
Oh, right.
There were a lot of brands.
Oh, yeah.
Featured very prominently in that film.
That old product placement budget inflator.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder, how much creative control gets kind of
compromised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When so many brands are trying to get
vying for that screen time.
Yeah. Speaking of things that make you wonder, can we talk about the Johnny Depp cameo?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was so random. It felt like a fever dream.
That cameo is one for the books.
Yeah.
Was it a favor to Sandler?
Yeah.
Was it a last-minute addition?
Yeah.
It's so bizarre.
Yeah.
And honestly, kind of brilliant in its absurdity.
Right. It's so out there
that
you can't help but just, laugh.
Right.
And it definitely makes you remember that moment in the movie.
Yeah.
Which I guess, the point of a cameo, right?
Right.
Okay. Last but not least.
Yeah.
We got to talk about Adam Sandler playing both Jack and Jill.
Yeah.
He does the whole dual role thing a lot,
He does.
In his movies.
Yeah.
Little Nicky.
Yeah.
8 Crazy Nights. It's like a recurring theme.
Yeah.
It's interesting to consider why he keeps coming back to that.
Right. Is it a comedic thing he just enjoys doing?
Yeah.
Or is there like a deeper reason?
Yeah.
Like maybe something about exploring facets of a personality or something.
Makes you wonder.
Yeah, it could be a creative challenge for him.
Yeah.
A way to really push the boundaries of his comedic style.
It's like a signature move for him.
Yeah.
It is.
So there you have it.
There it is.
We went from these record-breaking Razzie wins
Yeah.
to Al Pacino just showing up this crazy budget.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp just like popping up in a Bieber t-shirt. And Adam Sandler, you know.
Double duty.
Yeah, double duty.
And it all comes back to, does knowing all this behind the scenes stuff,
Right.
does it change your view of Jack and Jill?
Right.
Does it make it like a more fascinating case study?
Yeah.
Or just like a funnier example of Hollywood's quirks?
Yeah, what do you think?
What do you think?
Let us know.